What up, guys? Matt Viking, Toy Channel here. It's Monday night, of course. Watching Raw. I'm waiting for the Great Deletion to happen. But I have a bunch of news. I figured I'd just make a news video. I haven't done anything in about a week. So I figured I would just jump on it real quick and get something done. NXT news, Bobby Fish, of course, we all know he was injured recently. He injured his MCI and ACI. He's going to be out a while. The tag team titles can be possibly dropped, or they might go with the three-man system and, of course, just throw Adam Cole into the picture. And I don't know why they wouldn't, especially with all the new three-man teams on NXT. But as of right now, it's still being debated. Rey Mysterio's injury, it was supposed to be throwing the New Japan match and his possible WrestleMania match up in the air. Now claims he only has a grade 1 partial torn bicep. And supposedly he's still in talks to possibly show up at WrestleMania. But I have more news on him coming up here. Actually, I'll just jump into it if I can find it. Mysterio has become co-owner and wrestler for the new company, Aero Lucha. Now, we don't know what his contract status is, if he can bounce around, show up on other feds like WWE, and be seen on TV. Maybe he can as partial owner. But, like I said, does that throw his New Japan wrestling match and his WrestleMania match up in the air? Don't know. I haven't heard anything since his injury if the WWE is even still looking into bringing him in. Drew McIntyre has been seen at the Performance Center working out and is expected to make some sort of appearance or be back by Mania. Back by Mania. What would that mean? He never came back on the main roster. He was still on NXT when he got injured. Abby Laith, Sage Beckett, and I just recently found this today, little nugget. NXT live host Christy St. Cloud have all been fired from NXT. Budget cuts, people, budget cuts. They sign all those women. I told you more cuts were coming. Sage Beckett, I don't know. She looks nice, I guess, for a big girl, but I've never seen anything impressive out of her. Abby Laith. Now, I didn't watch the women's tournament, but what she looks like now, she looks like nothing like she did in the women's tournament, and I could probably see why they fired her. The last few matches I've seen of her, she was pushed quite a bit on the NXT house shows here in Florida. I saw her a lot, and she did kind of botch a lot, but they were throwing her in matches with the big Mexican girl that carries the bull rope. I mean, she's like 6 feet tall, and you're throwing a 5'2" girl in there, trying to do her lucha stuff on her. Of course, it doesn't look too good. But she did have sloppy matches. NXT is also going to introduce a new title, the North American title, which is supposed to be coming up very soon. I don't know if they really need another title, but I guess they don't really have a secondary title. It's just the men's, the women's, and the tag team. So, I don't know, whatever. I guess that's just the way to, like, when they're doing house shows, they don't always have to have a champion there. You know, they can have the secondary champion there. Make people feel fulfilled. Oh, yeah, I only saw this once. I forget what site it was, but Brock Lesnar is accusing Triple H of roid use all over a spat because the WWE is refusing to re-sign him when his contract's up, which has been leading to his walkouts of Raw. God, I forgot. What does that mean? Anyway, I don't know. Like we all know, I don't know if Lesnar's... I think he just uses UFC at this point as a prop because, hey, I can always go back there, Vince. You better pay me. But if they keep Lesnar around, sign him again to another contract, couple-year contract, he can't just continue to be unstoppable. Granted, you can't just turn him into like a mid-card or jobber either. But I mean, he's got to start showing up on more shows. You don't pay him $9 million a year and he shows up 13 times, 14 times a year. It just doesn't, it can't cut it. And I'm sure that's still what he's pushing. Why did I write that? All right. CM Punk has announced his next UFC fight at UFC 225 pay-per-view. I forget what month it's in. Really, I'm sure that fight, and it's in his hometown, Chicago, I'm sure this fight is, you lose, you're done, even though he's been signed to 4 matches. We already saw him fight once. He was obviously not skilled or trained. It's been a while since then. Like, I'm rooting for him and all, but a lot of these MMA guys have been practicing MMA like all their life. Just like he practiced wrestling for the last 15 years of his life. You can't just throw yourself in there at 38 years old and be like, I'm going to start doing UFC. You're not Brock Lesnar. But hey, kudos to him. He's giving it one more shot. Vader underwent heart surgery this week for heart failure. At the age of 62, I have not heard anything more about him. I'm assuming he's lived, because if he died, we'd be hearing about it. So prayers go out to Vader. He always was one of my favorites. I know DDP was trying to help him lose weight, but he required him to move into his house and quit wrestling, and Vader claims he has to wrestle to survive and pay his medical bills. And if he quit wrestling, who's going to pay him? And I can understand that. But I mean, if he's 62 years old, he's got to be... He's old enough to where he should have been able to retire by now, but whatever. Maybe he had a really expensive lifestyle. Rich Swann has canceled all of his indie dates and future promotions. Apparently, he doesn't... Not that he doesn't like the indies. Apparently, he's being treated very poorly on the indies. He's being catcalled. And he doesn't like the way he's being treated. And he claims he's retired. He's retiring from wrestling. He's quit all of his future dates, including like House of Hardcore, AAA. He was booked all over the place, but I guess he says he's done. Goldberg is supposedly going to star on an episode of The Goldbergs very soon. Jeff Hardy, of course, everybody knows, he was arrested with a DUI. He totaled his car into a barricade, causing $15,000 to the barricade. I don't know how a picture of that has not surfaced yet, but it hasn't. But it looks like his future is still bright, because he's been seen this week at the Performance Center. I really didn't think the WWE was going to fire him, because they are really lacking talent right now going into WrestleMania, and they need star power. He is supposed to be showing up tonight on the Final Deletion, and I guess that's supposed to control what his future is. Austin Aries shows up to the last Ring of Honor pay-per-view, buried in heavyweight championship gold. To challenge, he came back to Ring of Honor specifically to challenge Kenny King for, God, is that the TV title? Because he claims now he's a belt collector, and that was the only title he never won in Ring of Honor, and he wants it. Young Bucks have said they are going to return to Impact for a series of tapings. Interesting. That's kind of cool. But I doubt they're going to be going back called Generation Me. This is kind of old. Ambrose is in Alabama this week. He's getting checked on his status to see if he can start rehabbing. Jeff Hardy has been cleared. This is old, but to Mina's injury report, she can finally take her arm out of her sling to start rehab. Anybody care? She was in that women's Royal Rumble. They let her be in it. That's why she was in and out so quickly. But she was hurt for that. Oh, jeez. All right. Well, it was announced tonight Mark Henry was going to the Hall of Fame. It was spoiled by WrestleMania Magazine about a week or two ago. Some of this stuff I sit on, obviously, until I have a collection of stuff to report. But I did see it tonight on Raw. They did announce it. Mark Henry's going in. This possibly means that Bam Bam Bigelow is being taken off. But it did say he possibly could still be in the running to be in this class in 2018, which I would think would be a little top-heavy, a little much if they're putting Mark in right now. I mean, he's going in, I believe, as the main eventer of the class, so they need somebody to be there to talk, give a speech. So, yeah, Bam Bam's probably not making it. Oh, I should have kept going on about that statement with Rey Mysterio. Okay, with the Era Lucha company that he is co-owner of, it's based out of Nashville. Sound familiar? They already had one sellout show for tapings. The wrestlers that participated in it, of course, were MVP, Johnny Mundo, Taya Valkyrie, Willie Mack, James Storm, Rebby Sky, Hurricane Helms, and many more. They are set to do more tapings in the next coming months. They're probably at, the Nashville Fairgrounds where TNA started. But it looks like they got a promising start. A lot of heat here, which is understandable. WWE drops the Moolah Memorial Battle Royal amidst fan reaction. Now, for a lot of you younger people, you don't know, the WWE is the top dog, so they get to rewrite history. And they like Moolah. They liked Mae Young. Mae Young, this really has nothing to do with her, but they were always a pair. Moolah was really more of a scumbag than the way the WWE likes to portray her. Back in the day, when she was running her own fed, her own school, with her husband, she routinely drugged her students. She signed them into contracts where basically they just stayed indentured to her. She put them into her apartments where she overcharged them on rent too as another way to keep them indentured. She basically pimped her wrestlers out to her men wrestlers to keep them, quote, out of trouble. And that's why they were usually drugged. She would steal their money. Say if a promoter gave her $150 for a girl for a week, after they wrestled there, she would give each girl $50 and pocket the rest. She was basically known for the first screw job ever in wrestling, well, televised. She was fighting Wendy Richter back in the day, basically supposed to be her replacement when they were starting up the women's division again back in the 80s. Richter was, of course, part of the Rock and Wrestling, what do they call it, the connection back then. Basically, Moolah, I can't remember if she put her in Wendy Richter's own finisher or not, but the referee must have been in on it. Richter kicked out at 1. The referee handed her the title, and Moolah held it hostage basically for decades, a decade after that. That match was the reason that the WWE basically retired the women's title after that and resurrected it when, the Sonny Sable era. That's basically the reason why Moolah held it all those years. It wasn't because she was competing for the WWE with it and beating people. There was a scandal behind it, and the WWE was no longer pushing women, and they just let her have the title. But like I said, Moolah was really, she wasn't a good person. It's the WWE just basically glossing over all the horrible things she did, because I guess they think it's hearsay at this point. But the fans petitioned, the WWE listened, and they changed the name. I know they changed it, I just don't know what they changed it to. Really, it should be like the Mildred Burke Battle Royal Memorial. She was probably the Hulk Hogan of the women's golden era. And I don't think she had anything to do with the WWE back in the day, but she was like the Brock Lesnar of women. Not that she was muscular, but this chick could wrestle and she could take down men. She was a phenom back in the day. I can't remember if they did give it a new name or they just called it the Women's Battle Royal or whatever. I know there's more. Oh, yeah. All right. Daniel Bryan says his chances of being cleared by the WWE has greatly improved. There were rumors that he was going to be the winner of the Royal Rumble, but it leaked, and that was one of the rumors, of course, at the time of the Royal Rumble. He was going to be a surprise entrant, and possibly win, which would have meant he would have gone on to face Lesnar. I don't know. It's probably hearsay, but you never know. That John Cena match back in the day where Lesnar just destroyed John Cena the entire match, that match was meant for Daniel Bryan. The WWE booked that match for Brock Lesnar just to decimate Daniel Bryan for half an hour. Which, like I said, ultimately, I never believed the WWE fully backed Daniel Bryan when he was champion. They were doing everything they could to bury him and beat him to death in the ring. And if Lesnar would have gotten a hold of him, he probably would have. But interestingly enough, though, the WWE did offer Daniel Bryan a WrestleMania match. But of course, it was going to be watered down with no bumps, no real excitement, and Daniel Bryan said no. He either said, you're going to clear me, or you're not going to clear me, and we know what's going to happen if you don't clear me. He's sticking to his guns, which means, he's going to New Japan and Ring of Honor. He also said he wants to go to AA too, though. I'm sure this first year of the WWE, he would do all that stuff, just like what Cody did. Rusev and Lana, in the last few days, were recently live streaming, complaining about their mixed tag team match against Bobby Roode and Charlotte, claiming how Charlotte cheated. The men can't touch the ladies, and the ladies can't touch the men. And of course, Charlotte was beating on Rusev, chopping him and hitting him. And he said they should have been disqualified, and him and Lana should have gone on to win their match. Around this time, Rusev pops into the live stream, and Ryback. Ryback pops into the live stream, and Rusev is like, "Hey, buddy, long time. Is it really you?" He's like, "Hey, everybody, Mr. So-and-so, great bodybuilder, good friend of mine." And he was talking about his supplements, Ryback supplements that he takes. He's like, "Just look at him. Look how well they work." And Ryback is like, shouldn't you be a part of the WWE steroid scandal? I don't remember the rest of it. And Rusev just stops reading it, and he's like, "Oh, I can't believe he just said that." And Lana's like, "What? What did he say?" He's like, "Mr. Feed Me More, good buddy." I think Rusev was generally shocked. He's like, "I'm going to have to block you now. We're no longer friends." And he's like, "This is the end of the live stream. People like them, people like Ryback, ruin it for everybody." So, yeah, you can find this on YouTube. I found it very easily. Which is weird to me. I wouldn't necessarily... Rusev is big and large, yeah, but he's not cut. He's not like... He doesn't look like he does roids. I know people are going to say, "Oh, look at his legs. Look at his chest." I had Rusev's chest in the 6th grade. Big, giant barrel chest with skinny arms and skinny legs. Hulk Hogan has the same chest. Now, granted, he's kind of a short guy, but he's thick. The dude bench presses 500 pounds. I mean, he's going to have some arms. And I've seen his leg routines. The guy's big. I wouldn't say he does roids, but I mean, I didn't share a locker room with him either, so maybe Ryback is insinuating a little bit of the truth in there. I don't know. But Ryback was definitely pissed. My last news report, I told you how Lucha Underground was going to be versus Impact for this year's WrestleCon. They basically follow the WWE around from city to city for WrestleMania, and they have very good events. They said it's already nearly sold out. It's the second highest reserve seating purchase of any of their events, already closing in at almost 40K, and I'm sure people are like, 40K? Well, you got to remember, they're probably running in a building that holds 800 people. So if they've got 40K already, the tickets are probably $70 to $100. And they're almost already sold out. They went on sale last week. So obviously people are very interested in that show. I would have been interested in that show too if it was around me, but so I guess that's good news for WrestleCon. I already said that. Possible second New Japan show in America in 2018. With the success of the March 25th California Strong Style Evolve show, fans were clamoring for more. And New Japan is possibly looking into a July 7th show at the Cow Palace, which holds 14,000 fans. It will possibly be a continuation of Jericho versus Naito, because it was already pointed out that Jericho doesn't have anything with Fozzy that week. And now, of course, everybody's going to say, well, Jericho came out and said he's got nothing to do with New Japan anymore. Did New Japan ever come out and say they did? That they don't have anything to do with Jericho anymore? No. Has there been any reason that's occurred why Jericho said that? No, but does Jericho like to screw with us? as fans? Yes. Does he screw with other promotions? Yeah, he likes to do that. He likes to be the mystery man. He's going on his legacy, like I said in the last one. I don't think he's ditching this show. But yeah, he would be the headliner at both shows. I'm sure he'd be very happy to take that money. So if you're in the area of the Cow Palace, which is Texas, right? No, it was also in California. I would start getting online because the first show sold out in less than a week. Season 4 of Lucha Underground is filmed at a new location. They lost the original location site for the temple. It's been booked, but the new site is actually a little bit smaller. It's not multi-leveled. It looks nothing like the temple, only on the ground floor, which the temple was cool and all. But as a wrestler, I wouldn't want to be crawling down and walking down those steps every match. I mean, I got 12.5-inch feet. I'm sure some of those guys have bigger feet than me, and when you're walking down a flight of stairs and like half your foot's hanging off of it, it's not a comfortable feeling. And I don't think those guys had a guardrail to hang on to either. Like I said, if I was wrestling for them, I would have never gone down those stairs. But anyway, the new location looks more intimate. I like the lighting. It's still going to work for them. They just don't have the temple anymore. Some names that we're seeing at the tapings, and fans so far have been mum about the matches. They usually ruin them all in advance. But it was said that ex-WWE champion Jack Swagger was there. Chavo Guerrero, he's a regular on the show, and he does very well, by the way. He has amazing matches. His match with Mysterio, for one, last season was excellent. Tommy Dreamer is going to be there. Mr. Spectacular. It's been a while now since I've seen Lucha Underground, so I'd have to see his picture, but he's a very big star, apparently. Hernandez was there. Along with longtime regulars Killshot, Son of Havoc, Sonny Kiss. No mention of Pentagon Jr. Pentagon Jr. better be there. I mean, they lost Prince Puma, a.k.a. Ricochet. He's got to be there because he beat Prince Puma in the final match for that title. Yeah, he's going to be there. But anyways, guys, that's it for now for the little news vlog. I'm probably going to go live for Final Deletion and post it up a little bit later on tonight too. Granted, I don't get anybody on there, but it'll be a video to post of my live reaction to Final Deletion. Because, of course, you all know I'm a huge Broken Matt Hardy fan. I love the gimmick. And the WWE is finally doing something with it. And hopefully this isn't the end of their skits, at the compound. All of them are supposed to be there. Senior Benjamin, Rebby, King Maxwell, and I can't remember the other one. His newborn kid. But Jeff Hardy is supposed to be making a cameo too. You can't do the Final Deletion without Jeff Hardy showing up. But anyway, guys, that's it for now. Hey, leave a comment, subscribe, hit the notification button. Welcome my continuing flow of new viewers to the channel. Thank you for joining. I think I got 3 more in the last couple of days. I mean, I just finally feel like people see my channel. I mean, the feeling's good. It's a steady uptake every week, little by little, but I'll take it, man. It's better than making a video and losing 8 subscribers for no reason. So, like I said, thanks for watching, guys. Look for the Final Deletion video coming up next, and that's it for now. Peace.